Hey, good morning. Happy Thursday. And it's good to see you. And I do see you. We make perfect mirrors. So today is day 11. And I'm still holding steady on my fast. And I'm still detoxing like crazy. I was out on my morning 3-mile walk, and it was clear when I started and the fog started rolling in, but it was 73 and sunny yesterday afternoon, so there's a glimmer of hope here in the Northwest that winter might finally end. I don't know, I take it one day at a time. But anyway, I'm on my walk and I'm having a beautiful meditative and cruising along, and I was about maybe a mile, maybe about a half a mile left from home. And, I thought what was happening that, I was going to just squeeze a little air. Nah, it was a squirt. So I got home, and I went in, and wow, what's happening, man, these discharges just get darker and danker and smellier each time. And even the urine is just like this really dark amber. And I just keep thinking, wow, man, it's amazing what a lifetime of poisoning will do to your body. And trying to clear that junk out, man, is you just don't do that overnight. Okay. So, what I'm learning is the patience and the process, and I'm in the process of processing my process. So, the body is an interesting thing. It's amazing how much abuse a body can take. It's almost scary how much a body can take abuse. So, any addiction anybody has, their body builds up its own natural defense systems for it. And, the first time somebody takes a drink, they hate it, but they develop a taste for it. Same with a cigarette. Most things, people, it's not right, well, sugar, oh man, I like sugar, give me more. My mother, when I was a kid, she wouldn't buy sugar-coated cereal, but, we had 10-pound bags of sugar, and we'd dump a half a bowl of sugar in there, and by the time the cereal was gone, there was just this like 1-inch thick layer of sugar on the bottom with the milk, and boy, I'd drink that up, so, I think sugar was my, absolutely my first addiction, and it was a gateway drug, big time. So, I was thinking about, what it takes to transform. And, there's so many layers involved, and our ego plays such a defiant and critical role. And, our need to, be self-important and noticed, and these things do get in the way. And we have these, natural defense mechanisms. And so when imposed or confronted or challenged or anything, immediately, the defense mechanisms go up, the walls go up, and denial comes in. People don't want to hear it. I'll give you a perfect example. I've always been like a total rebel. I'm a rebellious type. And I think that was just all my early on survival mechanism. Being the youngest of 5 boys, I really did take a lot of abuse. I was tortured as a kid. And so I had to learn a whole lot of survival skills. And none of them were really correct. Quite frankly, but that's the way it goes, So anyway, when I was in Sedona, I told this story once before, but it brings a certain point I want to bring to view. And it had to do with the very first time I was introduced to what veganism is. And I was invited to this vegan potluck, and I didn't know it was a vegan potluck. Nobody told me anything about that. These people that invited us were at another party we were at, and they thought we were kind of clever and entertaining, so they invited us. So I show up at this potluck with a sausage soup, and it was delicious. I mean, it was, I would knock my socks off with this soup. And, you know, uh, everybody, I mean, really, I mean, they were looking at me like, what the fuck, dude? And so what happened in that moment, what happened in that occasion is just this, I'm using this as an example, is that they posed a superiority complex. It was like, we've got it all figured out. And I saw that a lot in Sedona, with different healing and modalities and this, that, and the other. People, they gain these, superiority complexes, like they got it all figured out. And nobody's got it all figured out. Everybody's got to figure it out on their own, and that's part of life. That's the process. So, I naturally resented that. And so I rebelled against it. Now, had they treated me with a different, in an educational and a more, subtle, loving, kind way, I may have become a vegan 20 years ago. But I didn't. I resisted. I rebelled. I resented it. So it's important, in this new pursuit, with the urine therapy. Like, I talk to everybody. I have no fear. I have no reservation. And it's amazing how many people are curious and interested if you get your facts straight, if you get your knowledge right. But more importantly, be experiential. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I left that up to all the other people who want to be doctors and scientists. And I read their material, and I read the backstories and the case histories and all that stuff. And so I gain knowledge. And so I take that knowledge as a part of my presentation. And I introduce ideas to people. I never beat them up. I don't judge them. I just allow them to be in their process, because everybody is in their own process. And it's not me. It's none of my business. And for me to judge them or criticize them or hold some posture of superiority, that's my ego. And, that just don't fly. That's just not the way to make it, the world spin properly. So, I've learned, and I'm still learning. I'm a human. I haven't got it all figured out, and I doubt I ever will. But I have figured out one thing, that, this urine therapy really works for me. It's cured my arthritis, my tendonitis, my bursitis. It's totally cured my COPD, my degenerative disc disease, my sciatica, the consistent cramps I was having in my hamstrings and calves. I mean, the list is long, but all of those are gone. They're just gone. So, I'm a walking testimonial. And so today, now this is, I'm going to start the next level today. And I've been waiting patiently, because it's been a long winter. It's been cold and wet, and it's just been long. That's why I can't wait to get to the desert again. And I live in I live with a friend, and I've been his property caretaker for 3 years now. He travels a lot in his business, and I take care of his property and his B&B and his dogs and things while he's gone. And he really loves me, and he appreciates me, and he thinks what I'm doing is awesome. But he's not willing or ready. It's not for him. So he has nothing but love and respect. But on the other hand, he also he has this ultra sensitive sense of smell, and something about the smell of urine really, it just, like it nauseates him. It's whatever triggers him, and that's, if I smell ammonia, I want to just shoot myself. That shit'll kill me. So I understand how a certain reflexology happens, with certain senses. But it's getting warmer. And today, this very morning, he left on a 10-day business trip. So I am ready. I'm going to start doing full body massages, because when I was first now, because I'm not eating, I store my aged urine with the I have like a paper towel rubber band on the top of the lids and stuff, and I'm storing it in the refrigerator because there's no food in there. And right now I got like, I don't know, 5 gallons, 6 gallons, It's like, God, where am I going to store all this, So today I'm going to start the rubbing. And then as the weather warms up, it'll be perfect, because then I can just go out on the deck and sit in the sunshine and do it outside, and no worries, no problem. So I'm excited about that part. It's changing. And so yeah, every day counts. So yesterday was a big day for me. I finally got the van that I'd been eyeballing and had imagination about, and got it driven home and parked and locked. And so my summer vacation is going to be about building out my van. I'm going to build a mobile film and living kind of studio set up in there for myself. And so when I hit the road, I'll be self-contained. And so I'm excited about that. And so from here on out, everything is just about protecting, and preserving, and growing in my temple. And I have way more respect for my temple than I ever have in my entire life. I had no respect for my temple. Really, I didn't. I mean, I abused my temple all my life. I just did. But now I have so much self-respect and self-love, and I totally surrendered. I surrendered my ego. I surrendered all of that to live in a deeper sense of gratitude and forgiveness and compassion and love, because those are all the real key ingredients of a happy, fulfilled life. And we can only share by example. Going around telling people stuff, if you aren't living it, all you're doing is telling them a lie. You're living a lie. You can't preach or teach what you don't own. So it's a life lesson, and I do everything I know how to learn every day. To improve my life every day, because I honor myself. I love myself. And so one last thing, I'm going to share a poem with you that I remember I remember the exact moment when I wrote this poem. It was in 2001. It was in Phoenix, Arizona. And at the time, I was dating and managing and running sound and everything for a Swedish jazz singer who was really quite talented and did a lot of Latin music and stuff. And we were in Phoenix. We were down there to do a gig, and we were staying at a friend of hers down there. And I remember sitting out on the patio when I jotted down these thoughts. And again, it goes back to where I started, where there's this sense of superiority over what people do. And, at that time, I mean, I was enmeshed in my stuff, my habits, my ego, whatever. And so I penned this one out on that moment, and it's called "People Are Temples." And so here it is. People are temples. It's how we're designed. Being a conduit is our link to divine. Bearing false witness, a projection and shame, a righteous endeavor in casting a blame. Eating correctly, as some people muse, deepens our wisdom. I'm somewhat confused. If you shop at the health store and choose not to smoke, are you superior to us common folks? When someone is starving and their temple is weak, is God non-existent in wisdom they seek? Regardless of diet or toxins consumed, God is still present when our temples are tombs. And so, there it is. So, with all that being said, I'm going to share a bit of WEEDU wine here with you before I depart. And I want to wish you a beautiful, wonderful, marvelous day. I hope the sun shines from within on you, and that you love your life and you live it with a principle. And I'll stop preaching for now. So, with all that being said, boom! Yeah, you just been loved. Have a beautiful life.